All right, what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest. I didn't expect to see you guys again tonight, but definitely a good reason to see you guys again. Utah gets another transfer this evening, this time in Utah State defensive end Paul Fitzgerald. Paul Fitzgerald is a guy that played over 700 snaps last year and had 8 sacks, 46 tackles, something like that, or 43 tackles, something like that. A guy that was an impact player for Utah State. We're going to break him down, kind of talk about what he brings to the table, what type of impact he's going to give at this edge rusher position. Should be a ton of fun. Before we get in, guys, make sure you smash that like button. Also, comment down below. I want to hear what you guys think of him. It's a good room, even without Paul Fitzgerald. So we'll kind of figure out how much can he work his way into this room. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out a ton of Utah Utes football content. This is the second video of the night, so if that gives you any indication. And we do a bunch of giveaways, guys. I have Brant Keithy signed autos on the way, Devin Lloyd signed autos on the way, Steven Smith jersey patch cards on the way. If you guys want to get in on them, we do free giveaways for everybody, but if you want more entries and more opportunity to win the giveaways and just help the channel, make sure you sign up for the Patreon. The link to that's going to be in the description. Let's dive in. Let's talk about Paul Fitzgerald. All right, guys. So just to give you a little bit of background on Paul Fitzgerald before we dive into some of the stats and the PFF grades, that sort of thing. Paul Fitzgerald was originally committed to BYU and then decommitted from BYU and wound up going to Utah State. I don't know all the details there, but we'll pull him up here. What kind of offers was he getting? Let's take a look. Let's just kind of break it down. Yeah, but really exciting prospect. I'm going to tell you the stats and the more detailed stuff here in a minute. But boom. Yeah, he had offers from Nevada, BYU, Utah State, interest from Boise State as well. So not a super highly sought after prospect, but seemed to have made a name for himself. Steve Bartle reports that he is entering as a redshirt sophomore, which means he has 3 years of eligibility left. So that means he's not just a one and done, kind of like Damian Alford earlier this evening. He's probably only here for 1 year, whereas this is a kid that could be here for up to another 3 years. So not only could he make an impact this year, but he could make an impact down the line as a consistent guy on this team. So that's really exciting. He looks solid out the gate. We'll break all that down in a minute. But speaking of Utah State, I don't know if you guys are following that. It is transfer, like tons of people are entering the transfer portal. I saw a high school coach, the coach for Orem High, made a post about how he's glad everyone's leaving Coach Anderson's Utah State team because it's a clown show. So is what it is. I don't really know what's going on there, but we're benefiting from it. So I hate to see anything just falling apart like that, but when an in-state program is suffering the way they are, it's a good opportunity to take advantage for Utah, and it looks like we did. I wouldn't be shocked if we dipped our toe in the Utah State waters again, and definitely dipped our toe in the transfer waters again. I mentioned it with the Damian Alford transfer. This is another all-in move, guys. Just like receiver, that's a position that had a ton of assets already. I'd say edge rusher is really similar in that boat, where it has a ton of assets already. And this is just putting more and more into the asset like bucket. And our edge rusher room is getting deep and deep and deep. And it is just, you can tell Utah is all in for a huge year. And I'm all about it. And let's keep diving in talking about Paul Fitzgerald. All right, guys. So this is the game log for Paul Fitzgerald. So you can see 646 total snaps, 67.3 pass rush grade, 65.3 overall grade, and a 66.8 run defense grade. It says 3 sacks here, but I'm going to pull this up. This is the ESPN game logs, And this actually shows that he has 8 sacks. I'm not sure where the discrepancy is there, but I'd say as far as sack reporting goes, I do trust ESPN to give the correct number. So I'll go with that. But check this out, guys. They played Georgia State in a bowl game. And in that bowl game, Paul Fitzgerald had 3 sacks. That is awesome. That means he came up big at the end of the season to help them win the bowl game. Or they lost the bowl game, but to at least make an impact in the bowl game. So really cool there. Seems like we're getting a good player, guys. 646 total snaps. That means this is a guy. This is a down in, down out player. Let's see if we can find out just how impressive those numbers are. The PFF grades don't wow you, right? They're not crazy good, but I would say they're also not bad. This was his first year really getting reps, right? You look at 2022 and 2021, there's really no play for him. So, this is his first year getting reps, and for him to have that type of impact on the team and on the field is pretty impressive. Like I said, 3 sacks in the bowl game. Looks like a good player. 8 sacks overall in the year. Over 40 tackles. I think it's 46 tackles. Again, looks like a very good player. I'll pull up the PFF stuff. We could take one more look, see if there's anything else worth mentioning. It's weird. PFF's stats are so much different than ESPN. ESPN has him with 46 tackles. Very odd. I've never seen such a big discrepancy between the two. Anyways, let's just scroll. So stop plays are like a negative play for the offense. 21 stop plays, that's a good amount on 649 steps. So that means it's him causing some sort of negative play for the offense. Hurries, 24. That's a lot of hurries, guys. So let's take a look here. So, I think that looks really good. You take 24 hurries divided by 646 snaps. That means 3.7% is his snaps he is getting a hurry on. Seems pretty solid to me. So that's kind of the player we're getting in a second. I'll touch on how he could contribute to the room and where I see him playing a role this year and in the future. All right, guys. So that was Paul Fitzgerald. When I look at him, guys, I'm going to give you my take on what I think he'll bring to the team this year and what I think he could be long term. Before I do that, though, please smash that like button. It'll help get it out to more Utah fans. Also, I want to hear what you guys think. Comment down below. What type of impact do you think he's going to bring to the team? Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out a ton of Utah Utes football content. And if you want to win some Utah autos, make sure you donate to the Patreon, become a member, however you want to look at it. It means a lot to me, and it helps us helps me get more player interviews for the channels, helps me do more giveaways, and just lets me know you guys appreciate the content. So let me tell you how I view Paul Fitzgerald into this year. So I talked about it before the spring game. We had Logan Fano, Van Fillinger, and Connor O'Toole as kind of the 3 for sure starters. And then I had Chase Kennedy and John Henry Daly as potential starters. Now, I think this guy's coming in because I'm guessing behind the scenes, John Henry Daly and Chase Kennedy maybe haven't stepped up to the plate. I see this guy in Paul Fitzgerald. He's proven it at the G5 level with a high number of snaps. And I think he's coming in to be that 4th guy in that rotation with Connor O'Toole, Van Fillinger, and Logan Fano. Now, I think he's more... I don't know. It's tough to know how he's going to transition Paul Fitzgerald from P5 or G5 to P5. It can be a tough transition. He could look great right away, but my guess would be he'll take I don't know exactly what's going to happen when he comes in, but my guess is he'll take about half a season to really start to make an impact. But I could see as the season gets deeper, he starts to come into his own and starts to become a playmaker or at least like a above average starter for this Utah team. It could happen earlier in the season. I'm just kind of giving you how I think it'll probably go. The other thing is long term, because he's only a redshirt sophomore, he only has 1 year of play time, and he had a solid grade and he did it on so many snaps. I think that's super promising, guys. I could see this kid in a year or two being one of the staples of the defense if this works out. So that's kind of where I'm at. I hope you guys appreciate the video. I'm out of here. Go Utes.